Hey guys, Toast here. Battlefield 1 is out, and like many Battlefield games past, it's bound to bring in new players from other franchises, or perhaps players who haven't played a Battlefield game in quite some time. These top 5 tips are designed to help newer players feel more comfortable when they play the game. If you're a veteran to the series, you're likely aware of many of these, but that doesn't mean a refresher won't help to keep them at the forefront of your mind while playing. Now, these tips won't turn you into an MLG player overnight, but they'll certainly help you live longer and be more beneficial to your team on the battlefield. Number 5. Don't just spawn in. When you join a game, you have the option of just spawning in at your team's default spawn point, but wait. The beauty of Battlefield 1, as well as previous Battlefield games, is that the majority of the game modes you have options as to where you can spawn. If you're in a squad, your options will be even more plentiful. Analyze the battlefield prior to spawning in. Look at where your teammates are, where your squad mates are, where the enemies are, especially if they have armor, and what your team is currently trying to accomplish. Take that into consideration when you choose which spawn you're going to take. If your squad is taking an objective, you'll want to find your squad mate that's in the safest place and spawn in on them to help them achieve their goal. Spawning back at the base in that situation probably isn't going to help. Games can last for 30 minutes or longer, so don't just rush to spawn in thinking you're going to miss all the action. You won't. It'll be there, and you're likely to experience it for a longer period of time if you take a few moments to analyze where to start. Number 4. Learn your optimal engagement distances. Every weapon in Battlefield 1 is going to have an engagement distance where it excels, and outside of that range, its effectiveness is going to taper off. Battlefield 1, more than previous iterations in the series, penalizes you for engaging outside of your weapon's optimal range. Regardless of what class you're playing, learn what distances the particular weapon you're using excels at, and try to keep yourself to that engagement distance. For example, the beseiged, which is the starting weapon for the medic class, can deal full damage from point blank up to 32 meters, and then it quickly tapers off to almost 25% less damage just 9 meters further. That may have you thinking that you can just run into most situations and do well, but remember that the weapon can only fire at 299 rounds per minute, and only has 10 bullets in the magazine, so you want to keep yourself to medium distances with this weapon to be effective. Another example is the MP18 Trench, the starting weapon for the Assault class. It only deals full damage up to 15 meters, but has a slower drop-off to 39 meters. However, that drop-off drops the weapon's damage almost in half. Because it's an automatic and has 32 bullets in the magazine, you really want to be up close when using this weapon since it really just turns into an automatic pea shooter at longer ranges. Learn the ins and outs of each of the weapons you're using to use them to their best strengths. Number 3. Spot, 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 and then spot a little bit more. Battlefield 1 has the staple Battlefield spotting mechanic, which highlights enemies both on the minimap as well as places a red marker over their heads, indicating what class they're playing or what vehicle they might be in. Spotting is an incredibly important lifeline for your team, as it's the easiest way to provide the most possible information with the least amount of effort. By hitting one key or button, you're letting your team know where the enemy is located, what direction they're going if they're moving, and what class they're playing. This is a great way to take out an enemy that isn't at the optimal engagement range for your particular weapon because, assuming your teammates are paying attention, someone whose weapon is better suited to take out that enemy is likely to do so. Even if you're at the optimal distance to engage, you should still spot because there's the possibility you might lose that fight. If the enemy's spotted, that gives your teammates the information they need to finish what you started. There's no such thing as spotting too many enemies, so use it liberally. Number 2. Be a jack of all trades. Some people might tell you should pick a particular class, stick with it, and master it to be all that you can be in Battlefield 1. While I won't argue that taking the time to excel with one particular class isn't going to be beneficial, what I will argue is that it's equally, if not more important, to be a jack of all trades, capable of taking on any class when needed. Battlefield 1's class system makes each class unique in their ability to excel in different situations. Your ability to be malleable and swap between the most needed classes within your squad can be paramount to your squad's success. Squads with a variety of classes within them tend to be more successful as they can be best prepared for a majority of situations they'll find themselves in. If your squad has 4 scouts, the likelihood of you being able to add anything productive by choosing an additional scout, regardless of how good with that class you might be, is going to be minimal. Take the time to learn how to play each of the classes so that if you see that your squad is in particular need of something, you can take on that role. If your squad is dying frequently and has no medic, get in there and do some reviving. Running out of ammo frequently, swap to the support class to not only provide that precious ammo to your teammates, but also help them fortify a position with trip mines and mortars. Your ability to adapt your playstyle to what's needed is going to be a huge asset not only to your squad, but to your team. Number 1. PTFO. Intelligently. Play the f***ing objective is a great motto for a game like Battlefield, as the majority of the game modes are objective-based, but that doesn't mean to go in Rambo style and barrel straight to the objective without paying attention to anything else. What this means is that if you're near an objective that needs to be defended or taken, help out. If you see an MCOM that needs to be armed and nobody else is doing it, definitely get in there and try to do it. If you see your teammates are struggling to hold a flag, get on that flag and help them out. While PTFO means that you should focus on the objective, you shouldn't be blind to other things around you. If all your teammates are rapidly dying trying to take a particular objective, instead of running right in and doing the same, perhaps try to organize a push with a few others or flank around. You're still playing the objective, but you're doing so by approaching the situation in a more analytical way. Even the most skilled players aren't likely to take an objective solo if the enemy team is well fortified. There will of course be times where you have the opportunity to be a solo hero and do some incredible things while going for an objective, but that tends to be the exception, not the rule. Play the objective, but use your brain. Now I want to know what tips you think are important to be successful in Battlefield 1. Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Toast, and I'll talk to you soon.